Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you some of the YouTube channels that I'm watching right now. And if you haven't heard of any of these, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to them below if you're into music, composition, theory, and the like. I also wanted to get a spread of different topics other than classical composition because I know we have a broad audience on this channel and you might have interests in production or songwriting or other related topics. So we're going to start out with Classical Nerd. This is a classic channel, a legacy channel on this list. So many videos, 277 videos on the lives of great composers, really from the early Renaissance, medieval period, all the way to modern day. Each of these videos is really well researched and produced, and some of them are hours long. And if you don't have access to biographies or music history textbooks, then this is a great supplement. And plus, I think it's more fun to watch documentaries than it is to read from a book. I'm trying to fill the gaps in my Western music history knowledge because I didn't pay a whole lot of attention in undergrad music history. So this is a really fun channel to go ahead and listen to the composers that I really wasn't interested in. And there's also a lot of contemporary living composers on here too, like Arvo Pärt. The next channel, Tantacruel, and only 38 videos, but that's because each of these videos is an essay, a piece of art almost. The amount of research and storytelling and editing in each of these videos is fantastic. The topics in this channel are critiques on a lot of topics in the music world, from music notation to certain portrayals of classical music in popular mediums. In addition, he was hired by MuseScore a few years ago to be the lead designer and has done great work with that software. So if you've been on any new version of MuseScore in the past few years, you can thank Tantacruel for his part in that. The next channel is a newer one called Synthet, and I actually got this recommendation from you guys. And this channel offers bite-sized production technique tutorials on things in FL Studio and other DAWs. So instead of these really long logic breakdowns of certain songs and huge tutorials on advanced production techniques, this is a more entertaining and bite-sized version of that. We're going to take it back to more classically informed content with Music Matters. This British channel covers the basic fundamentals of music theory, oral skills, and other topics that you probably should be familiar with if you want to study composition. And this covers music theory concepts as basic as Baroque canons and counterpoint all the way to modern jazz harmony. And this covers a lot of those fundamentals that you learn in music school. And if that's not your path, then I think this is a great supplement for all of that content that you would learn there, and probably much more. Hey, the next channel is Open Studio, which is a jazz education focused channel. So if you do a lot of big band or combo writing and you want to be immersed in the language of jazz more than the classical track, then this is a great channel. And I actually originally found out about this through their short form content. They make a lot of these comping videos and different ways to reharmonize jazz standards. And looks like they do a lot of interviews with prominent jazz figures. So if you like doing jazz composition, I would highly recommend Open Studio. Okay, this channel is Professor Milton, and it's a really neat channel on more high-level music theory topics that you might not learn in Music Theory 1 to 4 in undergrad. It goes really into the weeds on tuning systems, modal harmony, as well as I don't know what half of this stuff is actually, but it's really fascinating and I highly recommend you check it out. One of my favorite videos by Professor Milton is on Arvo Pärt's tintinnabuli technique, and this is an hour-long lecture on the technique from this 20th century composer, and it just was super fascinating. It got me really interested in Arvo Pärt's music and just made it super clear and easy to comprehend and understand. So if you are into all that high-level theory, Professor Milton is your person. Okay, the next channel is another classic legacy channel on YouTube. Orchestration Online covers a ton of topics related to scoring and orchestration, especially if you write acoustic music, especially concert music. The discussions on this channel are vast and wide and in-depth. It covers a lot of scoring combinations of different instruments and supplements that with repertoire and sound examples, which is highly useful for learning orchestration. There's 764 videos on this channel. Covers scoring errors, the orchestration techniques of famous composers, the do's and don'ts of certain orchestration, and it just goes back, more than a decade, almost 2 decades of video content. Okay, the next channel has to do with the film scoring track, and that's Guy Michelmore, who has a ton of content specifically relating to working in digital audio workstations. He also covers a lot of media and production music, like how to write happy music, the secrets to writing sad music. So just putting all of these commercially minded subjects into these really well-made videos. Also, takes a lot of technical deep dives into software and VSTs and sound libraries. I find myself coming to this channel a lot when I'm working on film scoring projects or want to get a review of a VST that I want to purchase. Okay, we're going to take a 180 again with Galen DeGraff, who does a lot more of those high-level theory topics if you're into that. Only 33 videos, but again, each of them is just so well done and edited. And he takes a lot of cues from popular movies and TV and incorporates them into teaching these music theory topics that are a little bit more conceptual. Also covers modal harmony here, post-tonal theory, using film music. Has this really interesting video on how to make these animated score videos, which I absolutely love. And recently made a video about composing a rhythmic paradox, which I have to watch yet. But yeah, just really fascinating and beautifully edited. All right, I had to do it. I'm a Dorico user. I switched about 3 years ago from Sibelius and I've never looked back. And their YouTube channel has so much free content and tutorials on learning the software and all the small intricacies to make your workflow work just a little bit better and to get the end product that you want. So if you use Dorico and you don't know how to use the software as well as you should, or you just want, some tips every single week with their Tip Tuesday shorts that they upload, then the Dorico channel is fantastic, and the team does a great job with teaching their software to the masses. Okay, the next few channels have to do with score videos and score studying. And the first one is Skylar Lim, who has these short excerpts that are bite-sized again, and cover very specific moments in repertoire, and usually to show specific effects or different affects that achieve a certain musical result and emote a specific result that the listeners perceive. And the way that Skylar Lim titles and presents these little excerpts are very engaging and kind of funny in some ways. So if you want something that's a little bit less in-depth than a full 20-minute long piece on the other channel, then this is a more entertaining way to ingest some great music. But speaking of those longer score videos, we have C Major 7, which is one of the bigger channels for sharing classical repertoire. A lot of it is actually contemporary, written in the 21st or 20th centuries, but also has some classics in here from way back in the day. But these are full recordings and score videos instead of those bite-sized pieces. But this is also really helpful for composers who are wanting to introduce different styles into their composer toolbox or to score study composers that they're interested in or haven't even heard before. And it's really convenient to be able to study these scores without having to scroll on a big PDF document on a tiny laptop screen. And it's hard to talk about score videos on YouTube without talking about Score Follower, who uploads a lot of contemporary and new pieces of music. And the cool thing is that they hold a call for scores every so often where you can submit your piece for approval to be uploaded on their channel. And I actually have some friends and colleagues who have pieces on this channel. It's more experimental So if you compose in that style, then this is a great place to learn about new pieces of music that are composed by today's emerging composers. Or if you have music of your own that you want to upload, then that's totally an option as well. This channel is really interesting. Mark Evanstein is the intersection of music composition and computer science. There's a lot of really interesting crossover videos that incorporate these two ideas, and I've really never seen anything like it. As someone who was really deeply interested in computer science and programming before I went to school for music, it's just really interesting seeing these two topics meshing together in unexpected ways. So if your brain works like that, and you're sort of a STEM person as well as a music composer or music enjoyer of any kind, then check out this channel. I think it's really fascinating, and there's a lot of stuff that I still have to check out on here. So if you're wondering why I didn't cover your favorite channel on this list, you might want to check out the video that I did a few months ago with my original list of YouTubers that you should be subscribed to. You can check that out right here, and I'll see you over there.